This character can do all content in the game, and it's amazing for new players. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Just go ahead and get into the build. So first, you want to grab a simple wand. The craft is very easy. You want flat fire damage, and you want attack speed. Fire damage, when you crit, it allows us to ignite, and this is how the build is able to function. And then for the helmet, you see we also have more flat fire damage spells and a little bit of life regen and strength. Just a basic rare. You don't even need flat damage on a helmet. This build is going to use mostly rares. And yeah, we're just trying to get by. Now for my amulet, I had a gold amulet. The rarity really doesn't help. It helps you drop more divines. But you see I also have more flat fire damage to attacks and critical strike chance. When you crit with fire damage, you can cause ignites, and that's the backbone of this build. And as far as the shield, again, you just want a high life roll, a high res roll. It doesn't have to be the same base. Again, we're just trying to get by. Again, since we're a CI build, we're going to be stacking energy shield and a little bit of res. It's just a good way to scale our defenses since we don't have to worry about life anymore. And for the belt, it's like a 1C belt on day one. Again, this build is very, very cheap. Anybody can put this together, and it was assembled to be easy for new players. Again, just life and res. Now you see I have an implicit that helps us gain frenzy charge every 15 seconds. This helps us cast our spark faster. And then the DRJ's elixir is it gives us more power charges and frenzy charges. If you notice in the gameplay, I have both charges, and this is how we're sustaining. And the life loss from the flask doesn't affect us because we're CI. And yeah, we're just using spark. And you want to use swift affliction support because we're doing damage over time with our ignites. And the added fire damage gives us supported skills gains 25% of physical damage as extra fire. So all our spark damage is getting converted into fire, and we're getting more ignites. And for the ring, again, more cast speed for our spark, and we need to stack fire damage. The bigger our fire damage hit is, the more we ignite. And again, when you crit with fire damage, you get more ignite. So we're using increased critical strike support, and then also using greater multiple projectiles because spark scales with projectiles always. And this ring right here is really, really good for our build. You see it gives us a lot of flat fire damage to our attacks for spark. It gives us cold res, and you see there's a line that says 10% increased movement speed while ignited. Since we're always igniting people, we're always moving faster. And then the effective chill on you is reversed. So when an enemy chills us, we reverse it back on them. And this is really good for our defense. So you don't have to get chill immune anymore because it's always hitting reverse back, and we're getting a nice movement speed boost. So overall, this ring is a very good value, and it's going to carry us to the end game. And again, you see I'm just stacking more fire damage for the build. This build was made to be very, very cheap and very easy to assemble for newer players. So now we're just going to do a little bit of crafting. So every league I try to find out ways that I can save players money. A lot of chase items, or usually the chase items, are a big currency sink for new players, whether it be like a mage blood or a headhunter. Progenesis is no exception. Part of our defenses is Progenesis. It's a huge factor in keeping us alive. And the problem is it's very expensive when league start, and it holds its value very well throughout the league. But again, players, they need it for defense for this build. So I've been experimenting with ways I can somehow make sure the player can craft their own. I didn't really know if this is possible because usually it just drops from the Maven boss. If you don't already know, Maven drops Genesis, but if you just chance, you can actually get it. I think it's like a 1 in 9 or something like that. You just have to make sure you have quality on the amethyst flask, and if you have a few ancient orbs, just in case you accidentally hit Xeris, you can just transfer over. So it's like I think it's like a 1 in 9. Yeah, see, okay, I actually got lucky. So that just saved you like 75 divines on league start. That's just currency you don't have to put to your build anymore.